Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I have some transfer tips for you since it is summer and since I have just finished my first year at UCLA. I want to talk about my transfer tips. I feel like I have learned so much since I first started college back in 2011. Yeah, it's been a while. So I really wanted to share some transfer tips that I have for y'all, and I hope these help you with your transfer experience since transfers rule, and you know, that's the way to go. So if you're interested in watching my transfer tips, then just keep on watching. So I have a couple tips for you, and these are going to be some serious tips if you really want to get into the school of your dreams. The first tip that I have is to take school seriously. I know this is kind of funny to say that, and I know it's like, well, I'm going to school to take school seriously, but it's like, for real, you really have to take school seriously, because depending how serious you are about transferring, how serious you are about what school you want to get into, the faster the process can be. You don't want to be there for 4 years like I was. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but it was just, you know, depending on the transfer process you're going through, depending on if you're gonna get AA or an AS or something like that, or depending what major you're going to and depending what school you want to do, it's better to just at first be sure what your plan is and start taking school seriously. My second tip is to figure out your major. The cool thing about being in community college is that you get to bounce around the whole school, bounce around different electives, and figure out what your majors are. So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the community college experience, was that since I wasn't sure right out of high school what I wanted to pursue, community college helped me look around and figure out what I wanted to do. The cool way of doing this is by just taking electives in things that you want to or thinking of pursuing. For example, your first year at a community college, your main focus are general education courses, which are like English, math, speech, and stuff like that. While you're taking just your regular general education courses, also take an elective, which is also transferable. So what I did was I took a theater class, I took philosophy, took communications. So I took all these different classes to kind of get a taste of what is in that major, or what would be that major like. And once I took my Soc class, I knew that I was like, okay, this is what I want to major in. So yeah, so like that's the cool thing about being in community college, is that you get to bounce around different departments or different majors, and you get to figure out, you know, what interests you. So take the time to figure out your major, but try to do it quickly, because the sooner you figure out your major, the sooner you could transfer. It's all about trying to transfer as quick as possible if needed to be. So my third tip is see a counselor, and this is about seeing a counselor almost every semester you are there. They are there to help you to get into the direction you want to. First, they'll help you select courses that correspond your interest or your major or what school you're trying to apply to. For example, if you're a student who's not really sure what you want to major in, but you know that you want to go to UCLA, for example, they would help you figure out what path to take. For example, for me is that I took IGETIC, and IGETIC corresponds to UCs and Cal States. So if I ever wanted to apply to any UC or Cal State, I would just have to take classes from that list that they offer. And I believe I showed this in my transferring video that I'll list up there, but it's just a list of paper that are offered at my school, how to meet the requirements and what classes they offer within those requirements. So that's one quick tip to like just start off how to start the transferring process, because sometimes there's just students who just want to apply to Cal States and don't want to apply to UCs, and there's a different path to do that. Great to know what your main goal is right away, and counselors will help you achieve that goal. It's also important to see them every semester or so, because sometimes depending on your major, requirements can change. For example, maybe there was this one class you need to take for your social major, and then you realize that they don't offer anymore, and then you don't need to take that requirement at your community college. So one that saves time, that saves time for you to take another class that you probably need. So it's important to always meet with a counselor to know that, or try to stay updated with Assist. I did do a video on how I use Assist to look at the different requirements for different schools. The only thing about Assist is that it's conjunction with California community colleges and California UCs and Cal States and private schools, I believe. So that's the only issue with Assist. But if you go see a counselor and if you're trying to apply for out-state schools, they help you with that path too. As a transfer, it's definitely recommended to finish all your 4 core requirements from your general ed a year before you're trying to transfer, because a lot of schools just want that done before a certain quarter. For example, I believe UCR and UCI wanted me to finish my English before the summer. Then I was trying to apply that next fall. So there's certain requirements like that. So I definitely recommend that your first year at community college, try to take your English, your oral kind of classes. That sounds so wrong. Your math classes, and I believe there's one more in your critical thinking classes, out of the way as quick as possible. I know a lot of people tend to delay trying to take maybe a critical thinking class to the last minute, but trust me, try to finish those as quick as you can, because those are the 4 main courses that need to be finished within a certain time. So I definitely recommend that. And that also will help if you're trying to do like tag with TAG, which is a transfers admissions guarantee. Certain schools do that, such as UCR, UCI, UC Santa Cruz. And if you accomplish the requirements, which like I said earlier, finishing those 4 requirements before a certain quarter, certain semester, I think there's like a recommended GPA, things having like more than 60 units, all that stuff. If you checklist everything and you fit all those requirements, that they would guarantee you admissions to the university. So that's a good thing to look forward to, and that's why finishing those classes earlier will help you with that. So try to see your counselor and inform them as much as you can about your plan, because they will help you seek it easier and give you more tips or advice about how to do it. So try to see a counselor. So the 4th thing, it corresponds with seeing a counselor, is figure out what school you want to go to and figure out a backup school. This is important because I feel like it's always great to leave your options open. So for me, if I did not get into UCLA, I was hoping to get into UCI, and if that didn't work out, then Cal State Fullerton. So I always had a backup school just in case I didn't get into my dream school, which is okay. So it's very important to research the school, research the ranking of the school, research how good the major is at that school, research anything about that school, because that will definitely help you with your transferring process. With figuring out what schools you want to go to, it's important to figure that out, because then your advisor or your academic advisor can help you pick those core courses or those classes that fulfill the requirements of that university. So it's always better to know what school you're applying to so that you can fill those requirements. My 5th tip is to get involved, and this is extremely important, especially if you're trying to transfer, and especially if you're trying to get into your dream school. You definitely need to get involved within campus. It's nice to have a community who think the same way you do, that have the same goals as you do, and are helping you out as that process goes. Not only that, it also looks better in your UC application because it helps you stand out. It helps the UC or the Cal State see that you are interested in other things outside of just, you know, school. And they really want that. They really want someone who is kind of everything, not only a student, you know. Obviously a high GPA is nice, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for something that makes you stand out, and being active and going into different clubs and organizations that interest you makes them understand what kind of person you are and makes them understand what kind of things interest you. So definitely get involved, and it's really fun, and you with just getting involved you get to learn new things and you get new opportunities. For me, I was nominated for the Women of Distinction just because I was close to staff and they knew who I was, and they really found me interesting, I guess, and I was nominated for Women Distinction, and yeah, so it was pretty cool and stuff like that. So you never know the opportunities of getting involved help you with. And also getting involved helped me with this whole transfer experience, because I've probably mentioned it before. One of the clubs that I was in was called STOMP, which was Student Transfer Opportunity Mentorship Program. So we help mentor each other on our transfer process. So just getting involved helps you a lot, and it looks better on your application. So I definitely recommend that. The last tip that I have is to create relationships, I guess in the sense of networking or just to get to know people. This is important because, one, you make friends, and second, if you get to know your teachers or your professors, if you go talk to them in office hours, if you go seek help when you need to, they could definitely eventually get to know you, maybe do some recommendations for later. I know for private schools such as USC, they definitely want a lot of recommendations letters outside of the application process. So it's great to start building that relationships. And also, you never know who your professor knows, and you never know if they could recommend you for a internship or a great job. So it's always great to network outside that, and also network with different people. Like, you never know who your colleagues or your peers might be, and if you network with each other, create relationships, and you never know what those relationships can become. So I think that is all for my transfer tips. If I did miss anything, feel free to ask me down below, and I will definitely answer them. I'm also planning to do another transfer Q&A, so please leave me your questions down below so I can answer them in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy all the feedback and the comments that I get, and if you have any recommendation videos, please let me know. I'll definitely record them, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. And then the washer goes on. You need to, that they don't or something like that. But no, I don't know. And I just feel like transferring, like I said, is so hard to record, because like, look, you hear that? Bye.